So we danced around it, and I said I might not come around to it, but I want to, damn it, I want to. Why are you in Mexico?
Ooh.
Just when you thought I'd talk about the book. No, I do. I want to talk about the book. But I think this is a nice lead in. So
I think it is a great transition. So I really believe in being in seasons and going in flow with kind of life. And the previous season, the last episode, the last stretch was very much about execution. Okay. Execution, very hard to get the book written. I set myself a very ambitious goal in the summer. In July, I announced that I was going to write the first draft of my book in 45 days and I was going to publish it this year. And I did.
Wow.
And it hit the bestsellers. I got the bestsellers label on multiple countries on Amazon, and the feedback's been immense. And now I'm coming on the other end of that, and the book is out. And what I need now is time for reflection, time for refueling, time for creativity and ideation. So between that and with this new variant that's in the news and fears, and now there's talk about, are we going to end up in another lockdown where I live? My partner, who is very loving and supportive and cares a lot about my mental health, said, you need to go. So I booked flights on Sunday night. I flew out on Monday, and I've set up here. I don't have a ring light, so I've got 3 lamps that I've taken the covers off to get some decent lighting. But I can see the ocean, and I can see palm trees.
Amazing.
And I'm here, and I'm still working for these few days. On the weekend, I've got nothing, and I've got a friend who has a place on the coast. We're going to hang out, go off-roading, go whatever, go watch whales or some shit. But right now, I'm still working, but it's like peaceful. It's calm.
Totally.
The piece of life here is a little different. It's different to wake up and look at palm trees in the ocean than it is to look at snow.
It is. I can, every time I go somewhere that has palm trees and the sun and the sand and thing, I'm like, I could live here. I feel so different. I feel so good. And but I think it's what you're saying there. It's the change. I love where I live. I love my home. I love my, even love the commute to the office. I'm one of the few people who are like, I like the 20-minute drive, sort my life out, have a sing song. But then I go somewhere hot and I'm like, London sucks. Whoa, it's just grey and there's nothing to it. But like it's the change, isn't it? And getting that. And we managed to make it to Madeira because we actually I got married to my wife in 2019, and in March of 2020, May of 2020, we were going to fly to Italy, and we had it all booked and planned, and we just sat there watching Italy and we were like, so we didn't honeymoon basically until earlier this year, and flew out to Madeira, and it was just beautiful, just a different place, and just this is a slightly different speed, and I get to remind myself about things I like by seeing other stuff which I don't, or I do, but just see it. I think it's coffee for the soul, like, you know what I mean, gives you a nice little jolt and a wake up. Yeah, and well done your partner to be like, you go, get out of here.
She's incredible. And not just that, but the week prior, her and I had booked a trip for us to go together in February. So we already have a trip booked where we know we're going away in a few months. But then as we saw the looming, like this new variant, and the government's talking about possible lockdowns, and now they're going to, when I fly home, I might have to get tested twice. I might have to get a test here before I go, and I might have to get tested when I land. Like things are moving rather quickly. And she was like, go, because she saw how hard I pushed to get the book out.
But without someone to tell you, right? I don't know about you, but I know for a fact for me, unless I'm told that that's kind of enough, I'll just keep the train running. Like I'll just keep pushing that stone up the hill, And if there's a little bit of momentum, sweet, I'll run after that stone and I'll keep pushing it, Unless someone's like, that's enough, it's doing it. Look, you tried to achieve this and you've achieved it now, so stop, relax. Breathe, don't sweat the small things, So amazing that you've given yourself the time as well to like you say, still working, but it doesn't have to be what it's been to get this done. So first book you've wrote, 15th
first book I've written. Yeah. And it's funny because I never would have thought that the first book I would have wrote would have been the story of my life or a collection of stories for my life. I would have felt it's too self-centered or egotistical or whatever. Like I was just like, no way. I wanted to write a book for a long time. And it was on my bucket list, and that's past when I thought about it, tried, and never got anywhere because I felt forced. It felt like, oh, what am I doing this for? I didn't have clarity. And then this year, at the end of 2020, I really, what do I want to do next year? What are the few things I definitely want to do? Writing a book was one of them. And then I started speaking to book coaches and people who had done it, and the good advice that I got from people were like, hey, you coach people, you have programs, take one of your courses. plop it in a book. It'll be easy peasy. Bob's your uncle, and it'll be great for the top of your funnel for your business.
Sure.
Ugh, I tried. It felt forced. It felt laborious. It felt like work. It felt like homework. I was like, God, why is this sucking so hard? And then I had this kind of aha where, one, my partner loves stories and loves hearing the crazy things from my life. So she loves always pictures. Tell me another story. And then also I realized that when I share online things from when I almost died coming back from a rave as a teenager, and the trouble I got into and my brush with suicide, like these struggles, it really resonates with people. People tend to really connect with it. So then, once I made that realization, I was like, I gave myself permission. Hey, it can be a collection of stories from my life. And that's kind of what it's turned into. The subtitle is From Selling Drugs to Lunch with Jim Carrey, Stories of Struggle, Near-Death Experiences, and Creating a Life with Meaning.
And anyone who watches this show regularly knows why I didn't attempt that, because I am useless at retaining any information. But it's actually the such a good what do you call that, headline or
subtitle?
Subtitle, of course. But like, so good. I'm drawn in immediately just to be like, selling drugs, Jim Carrey. So right, never written a book before. I am very much who you said you started that in July, right? So I'm the guy you were in June, who has always wanted to, is absolutely on my bucket list. I've started writing things in the past. I've started writing fiction. I've started writing fact. I've tried to write stuff about what we do here, and the same feeling. It just feels like, forced. I released a book on Amazon, but it just basically 3 words over and over again, just for the activity of like having my name as an author. I genuinely, we did it in an afternoon. A friend of the show, a guy called Mike Winnett, released How to Become a Bestseller, an Amazon bestseller. And it's just a hack basically. And he released a book with no words in it. And I was like, ooh, okay. So we did the same thing. So I went around the team and was like, tell me, what's my catchphrase, right? I just want to call the book my catchphrase. And there was a unanimous from the office. It was like, go fuck yourself. Like, oh. So if you search on Amazon for Go Fuck Yourself by J. Ludgrove.
Is there anything in the book, or is it just go fuck yourself over and over again?
So it's a number of titles, and it's like a self-help book. So it's like, how do I get out my own way? And then 4 or 5 pages of go fuck yourself. So
it's brilliant.
So I'm clearly not a real author, and what I'm saying is how do you take yourself? Like I have the want. I may or may not have the ability, but I also don't practice. Right? And I'm a big fan of saying, like, if you want to make video, hit record. Right? If you want to do, why am I no good at guitar? Play more. Like, so I know why I'm not getting any better or more confident at writing. It's because I'm not doing it. But how did you do that then? How did you just turn it on and be like, 45 days, it's happening?
Couple things. So on the 45 days thing is, I knew by calling it out, I was going to create immense pressure and accountability.
Yeah.
So I did 2 things. One, I made it public. I posted about it, and I asked people in the post, hold me accountable to this, check in with me. I want you to make sure I'm doing this, cool. Which is an insane thing to do, but I knew it would work for me. And I always want to put an asterisk or a caveat here. And when I'm mentioning this, because I know it works for me, I know I wouldn't crumble. If you were considering this, I would implore you to do some self-reflection, look in the mirror and check, because I haven't had a drink in 8 years, have a really healthy, supportive relationship. I exercise and meditate every day. I feel very mentally healthy and stable in all other facets of my life.
Okay.
I know that I can turn the pressure up to 11 in this one area, and I'm not going to crumble in other places because of what I've got going on around me. So that was huge. And I hired a book coach. So I got really clear on like, hey, what are the things that I'm great at? What are the things I'm not so great at? Accountability is an important one. I'm good here or there.
Sure.
2, with editorial stuff, total weakness. 3, getting the word out. I'm really awesome at that. I was like, okay. So I hired someone to help me with the editorial piece and to bring the stories together and fit together a bit better. But also I was making a promise to her, like, hey, I'm going to get you the first draft by this date. And we know by, putting deadlines and creating external accountability, I wasn't going to let her down. So those 2 forms of accountability was huge. And the other thing, as far as, you mentioned it, I'm not getting better at guitar because I'm not doing it. I just made a promise to myself that I was going to write 200 crappy words every day.
Love it.
200 is small. It's easy to write 200 words. And by labeling them crappy, there's no pressure. I didn't say 200 words, 200 great words,
200 more words towards finishing the book. No.
Yeah. No, 200 crappy words. And by practice of doing that, some days, it was 200 crappy words. But some days it was 500 words. Some days it was 1,000 great words. Some days I hit 5,000 words, but the cost of entry, the table stakes, the must was sit down, 200 crappy words. And it got me in the habit, and it got me in the flow, and it really created the ability to do it. And then the last thing, which I'm grateful that I'm able to do, because I run my own business, and I locked myself in a hotel for a week. Like talking earlier about the dishes and the laundry and all that stuff. Yeah, and I'm lucky. I have an office. It's an 8-minute walk from my house, so
Amazing.
I can have the separation. But even there, it's like I can't stay there.
Because
So
work.
I delegated a whole bunch of stuff. I got rid of things. I even did some of my calls on the Sunday to really clear up my schedule. Did the last couple calls on a Monday, and then I had nothing on my docket for an entire week, and I locked myself up. And I just wrote. I just wrote every day. I wrote the bulk of the book in 7 days, sitting in a hotel bed.
Amazing. But what's going to be better than the flow of that, right? You know, and I guess everyone's fear would be, I'm going to stroll into that hotel and come out 7 days later with, it was the best of times. It wasn't. No, damn it. I think someone's used that before. But you know, I mean, that's the fear, but also what's the worry about that? So you tried and it didn't work out. Like, don't, you know, without putting the pressure on.